Yeah. All right. So I'll take this one. So also part of Nintendo Direct, but there's a reason why we split this out, is was the first gameplay trailer for Return to
Mm.
Monkey Island, a game that we talked about when they announced it back on April Fool's Day. Obviously, I'm super pumped for it. I'm a huge fan of the original games, especially the third game, which is, it's Ron Gilbert wasn't behind that one, who's making this one, but it's still beloved. Um, but they announced in the Nintendo Direct that this is a Switch console launch exclusive, which is neat. I think that's
Mm.
really, really cool. It will also be on PC. They already
Yeah.
announced that. And I think, we talked, obviously, the big part of this is leading, that we're going to lead into, is about the art style. On the live reaction, we both said that we actually think the art style is pretty neat.
Yeah.
The
Makes sense
more,
as well. Makes sense to
yeah,
what you
the
would want to do.
more I've watched of it, I actually like it a lot more now. I think especially like they've got a really funny website up for it as well.
Mm.
I can't remember. I think it might just be returntomonkeyisland.com or something like that. But even that, it's like has a really. I'm like, okay, I
Oop,
actually
nope,
like
that's a
the way
porn
they've
site.
done. So, but basically, it's like I actually like it more the more I see it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that don't like it, and
Oh yeah.
that's absolutely fine. Even Mike chimed in when he watched it, said that he's not a fan, and that's absolutely fine, right?
Mm.
So stuff, not everything is for everyone, and I think
Yeah.
some stuff will win people over. Like just look at Wind Waker. Like I didn't like the look of Wind Waker when
Yeah.
I first saw it, and now I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Could we do like a quick role play, Swinny? So you're Ron Gilbert. You've introduced this game. Here's the gameplay. And I'm the gamer who doesn't like that gameplay. So you go, okay, cool. Click, you've uploaded it. That's your bit.
Yeah.
And this is a normal person who doesn't like that art style. Oh, cool. I'm really excited about this Return to Monkey Island clip. Okay. I'm going, yeah, not a fan of that. Okay. I'll move on with my life now. Cool. Awesome. Right. I'll go on to the next thing. That's the end of
role play.
roleplay. End of
So I'm
roleplay.
just Ron Gilbert. I'm just sitting there.
Well, you didn't do anything. So I was like,
Yeah.
all right.
So the unfortunate part about this is that people, like you could predict this happening,
Yeah.
not only took to like the comment sections of everything, but also Ron Gilbert's private blog, which is I think Grumpy Gamer, the blog, and
Yeah.
started commenting that they didn't like the art style. And some people just like, okay, I'm not a fan, right? And that's fine. That's it's not very constructive, but it's your honest opinion, right? But then a lot of people started saying Ron Gilbert is a hack and doing all these personal attacks and saying that he's ruining the franchise, constant like waves of abuse. A lot of it probably people being sent over there and stuff like that, and brigading and stuff like that, to the point where Ron Gilbert actually shut down comments on his blog because he was getting so many attacks. He was having to remove comments, or someone was having to remove them for him. It wouldn't surprise me if he's the one actually moderating that page, because
Yeah,
he's
probably.
always the one posting. And I'll just give a statement that he said. I'm shutting down comments. People are just being mean. I'm having to delete personal attack comments. It's an amazing game, and everyone on the team is very proud of it. Play it or don't play it, but don't ruin it for everyone else. I won't be posting any more about the game. The joy of sharing has been driven from me. And I just need to reiterate, some of these attacks are absolutely horrible stuff. These are not just, okay, I don't like getting criticism, right? These are just people constantly attacking him and personal attacks. And we'll talk about another game this week in a second where it went even a step further, that is abhorrent. But I just want to go back to some previous comments he made about this art style. It probably was about a month ago or so. It was obviously since the reveal on 1st of April. Return to Monkey Island may not be the art style you wanted or were expecting, but it's the art style I wanted. And I think that whole creative vision is the part where people obviously look, trying to reason with some of these people is just, it's pointless almost.
Folly. Yeah.
Yeah, but this whole thing about don't ruin it for everyone else, the fact that Ron Gilbert now says, and he might turn around on it, but say, look, he doesn't want to share any more information about the game until it comes out. It's now this has just ruined it for people that are true fans and looking forward to the game, whether or not they like the art style or not. Some people still want to play it. And suddenly you've just got this horrible culture of people just feeling like they have a right to attack developers directly about this stuff, that it makes me sometimes, like, even though I've got nothing to do with it, it makes me ashamed to be part of that culture in any form, to be a
Yeah.
gamer. And that sucks because this is a hobby, man. Like, games can be art, but at the same time, when you break it down, we play these things for fun or for
Exactly.
an
That's the
experience.
fucked up thing. Like out of any kind of hobby like that I can think of, it's almost like one of the few that really genuinely, for the core of it, is about fun and amusement. They literally pretty much originate from amusement parlors, right? So the fact that where gaming has gotten to with Gamergate and all this other kind of shit as well, it's like it is. You know what it's like? It's like if you like, I have a lot of friends who are Christian, right? And also like conservative and all this other kind of stuff, right? But I feel like at sometimes they feel almost embarrassed because there's some fucked up people on their side of the fence. And it's like,
Yeah.
you're ashamed. It's like you're ashamed of someone in your family or whatever, but it's like their family. So you can't get rid of them, right? And it feels like that. It's like, this is part of the reason why I will find it hard to talk about people at work. I play games and shit because it's like lame shit like this happens all the time in gaming, more so than like movies or music or anything like that. Like you don't see the parallels. You don't see people accosting like Tom Cruise. Oh, when's the next fucking Top Gun coming out? Or Kanye West like harassing him constantly. When's the next album? Like people really want the next album, but it just seems like the culture's so different. It's like, oh, we'll wait for it to come. We're excited. We want to have a listening party, you know, all this kind of stuff. It's like, man, it's such a bad part of the gaming community.
I've seen some people commenting, oh, this is why you have community management teams and like people as a filter between the creators. And it's like, motherfucker, like that is not solving the issue here, which is the especially with the anonymity of the internet or relative anonymity, that people feel like they can do this stuff without any kind of repercussions. And you've got someone like Ron Gilbert, like, think about this. We never ever thought we would get another Monkey Island game from Ron Gilbert.
Yeah.
We're getting it from the original creators, from the original composers, with the voice actors. You know, this is a labor of love game, right?
Yeah.
And these motherfuckers are just like, oh, fucking, you're ruining the franchise, you assholes, you know, and like, you're a hack, Ron Gilbert, and all this shit.
Yeah.
You're ruining what is something like we're lucky to have the fact that this game's coming out, whether or not you want to play it or not. The fact that like this is the creators bringing back an old loved franchise, you know.
Yeah, and also, let's be real, like these are people who, if you had a magic wand and go, okay, cool, boop, bing, you're in the director's chair now. They would fuck it up so hard. You know that. You know that, right? Yeah. It's like, what gives you the fucking gall to pretend like like, what have you done? Like, the world is so different than it was back then, right? If you've got a really cool idea, why don't you fucking make a game? Back yourself. Yeah. If you've got such a fucking good idea on how to ruin or not ruin a franchise. Like, at least I have some respect for you if you go do it. And then you also go, hey, and you're shit, Ron Gilbert. But by the way, people who are good at those kind of things would never even think or act like that in the first place.
I was listening to Tamor Hussein from Giant Bomb and GameSpot talk about this, and he was saying that thing you just said, but he also said, like, these people just, they haven't got much joy in their life. They get joy out of tearing people down.
Yeah,
and that doesn't always, I'm not saying this is
that. But yeah, go on.
But this is not a thing specific to gaming culture. We know that, right? But it's like the fact that you feel that you're entitled to go and do those personal attacks to tear people down. What the fuck are you doing, people? Like, have some decency, for fuck's sake. And there's worse. Well, I don't know if we want to get into the God of War stuff now, because I think my rant is just going to amp up on the back of this.
No, we should get into it. But I mean, like, I don't agree with what you just said. I feel like these people are just dark clouds. You know what I mean? Like, they're just bad news. They're bad vibes. And it's not even like trying to take the joy or anything like that. They have an aura of negativity and they live in the negativity. Like, and the challenge is, because, you know, without opening the veil too much, you know, like, we also get a lot of shit on YouTube, right? And my whole attitude to it is like, ignore it. Don't engage with it because it doesn't serve anything. It's like, I just kind of go, I feel sad for these people that they want to rip into us. Like, we're nobodies on YouTube. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On anything. It's like, God, like, it's like the low of the low. In a weird way, it's you're attacking big people. That's one thing. But attacking people who have like no following, it's insane, right? Like people ripping into you with like Assassin's Creed, and I'm like, it's literally subjective. Do you fucking understand what that means? This is not the official. Like we often say the official, or I'll say that. It's a fucking joke, obviously. It's your opinion. How can your opinion be wrong when it's a purely subjective matter? We're not talking about the determination of abortion or something here, people. We're talking about Assassin's Creed Odyssey being the best Assassin's Creed game because that's fucking Sweaty's view, you idiots. It's like, but the thing is, yeah, we normally ignore it. I very rarely delete the comments though. I'm happy to keep negative comments up.
Oh yeah,
Because I want to show people I don't give a fuck. We're just ignoring it, right? The only ones is when it's like racist or something like that.
Yeah, or like, hateful and
Hateful, like explicitly hateful.
So the other related story around this
let's
topic,
keep going.
is the fact that, and this happened just after because it kind of even got brought into the Monkey Island stuff, was God of War Ragnarok. So we know that there's all rumors, speculation around when is this release date? Is the game delayed? Is it not delayed? And all this like mixed kind of like rumors around it. And what it's kind of led to was you had some outlets like Bloomberg and Jason Schreier saying that they're expecting announcements soon. And you had like other outlets, and then those announcements didn't happen yet. And so what that led is a lot of people just being like, okay, when is it coming, right? Which is, you can ask that stuff. That's fine. Then other people like, I have $60. I deserve to know when this game is coming out, right? So that's the middle. Like you're getting towards the middle. Yeah. Then you've got people sending fucking dick pics and horrible stuff to the developers, and like obviously female developers at Sony Santa Monica studio, basically demanding them to fucking give them information about God of War. And I've got a quote here from Estelle Tagani. So she's a cinematics producer at Santa Monica. Pro tip: sending me dick pics asking for the God of War Ragnarok release date will not, in fact, get me to reveal the release date. To the people who are doing so, when did that ever work for you?
We're both guys, right? I don't understand the idea of sending, and I'm a guy, right? So it's not even like, I'm a girl, I don't understand it. I'm a guy. I don't understand the idea of like, I don't know this person, or I'm like, I want to meet them or whatever. So I'm going to send a photo of my cock to engage. That's the opening salvo. That's my opening gambit.
And let's be real.
Here's my dick.
For the vast majority of people, fucking penises are ugly anyway. Like, come on, right?
I don't know. Anyway, my gay cousin's pretty keen on them.
Anyway, then we had and this all basically the director Corey Barlog of God of War has been kind of having to manage and communicate a lot of around this stuff.
Not the director of the
week.
new one, but the old one.
Is he not the director?
No.
Is he? He's working on Ragnarok though.
Oh yeah, he's across it as an executive producer or something.
Okay,
but he's not the director.
Okay, or producer then, right? So, in response to that dick pic, he's like, "Are you fucking kidding me with this now? I cannot believe that I have to say this, but don't fucking send dick pics to anyone on this team or anyone in the industry for that matter. They are busting this ass to make some." So I don't know if that I copied and pasted, but basically to make something for you to enjoy, show some fucking respect. Now, that was in direct response to that, but he's been having to just manage the overall pressure, not just the people being horrible with that stuff. And so he's basically just really trying to, and this was a tweet that was also echoed by Phil Spencer, head of Xbox. Oh, yeah,
people started to go real big on these tweets.
So he's like, the answer is not to find someone to blame or to focus hate on. Maybe just pay it forward and treat the people that make the things we love with some human decency and respect. This is not a battle. We are not at war. We're just trying to make and enjoy things together.
Yeah.
And to the point where I was making notes for the show and everything, and then I saw that even the studio had actually put up a whole thing about this.
Yeah, I've got it up here if you want me to read it out.
Yeah, feel free, man.
Yeah. So this is from Santa Monica Studio. So every single person at Santa Monica Studio is working to create a game that we're proud of, one that we hope you will enjoy playing once released. Our fans inspire us, and we understand the passion and the desire for more information. But that passion should not be toxic nor come at the expense of any human being's dignity. Let's celebrate our community by treating each other, every gamer and developer alike, with respect. I must admit, we've gotten to a pretty sad point where we have to call out at the expense of human beings' dignity. Just because you want a game to come out or want certainty of when that game's going to come out. Like, fuck me. It's a pretty sad state of affairs, dude.
It's honestly getting harder to express this without sounding like a broken record. Again, it makes me shamed to be part of this gaming culture.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
well, when this shit happens. So I follow Corey Barlog on Twitter. So I see a lot of his tweets, right? And there's a whole bunch of shit that we haven't even mentioned. Like, he's constantly having to say to people, like, the game is coming. It's all cool. Like, he's like, I feel like they don't want to lock in a date just in case it gets to a point where it's like, shit, now we have to crunch to try to hit this date, right? And I'm totally fine with that. Like, fuck, everyone wants God of War, Ragnarok to come out. That's cool. But, like, I don't know. We're very out of step from... And I imagine it's a very small minority of people who are actually like this, honestly.
All right. I just need to say, look, you don't like the art style of Monkey Island? That's fine, right? Yeah. Don't abuse people. You don't like it. Don't buy the game if it affects you that much.
Yeah.
Not knowing the fucking release date of God of War. How the fuck does that change your goddamn life?
No, but they're because
not knowing the release. Okay, are you having to plan 6 months ahead of time? You're taking days off to play this goddamn game, and you need 6 months of notice for your work to fucking lock this shit in. How does it change your goddamn life to know the release date, motherfuckers? Seriously, man, this is so goddamn stupid.
Yeah. Well, it is stupid. I can't deny that. You can't defend it. It's stupid. It's bizarre. It's bizarre how people can get so wound up about this shit. But I still feel like it's a minority of people. It's got to be a minority of people. This is a problem with places like Twitter, that they amplify this shit.
Yeah, look, this is obviously like it's social media culture in general, but I mean, it got to the point where you had to have these statements being made, man. Like, it's the things like we don't know all the other channels that they're receiving this stuff from, like privately as well.
Oh yeah.
Fucking
Look,
just
I actually seriously worry about the launch of Ragnarok, given what happened with Horizon earlier this year. I think that the game, a similar thing happened to Last of Us Part 2, right? Where there was a lot of leaking early and people didn't like the story or what happened in the story. And there was almost a movement against the game. And it did actually hurt its numbers, like its sales for sure. And I don't know, man. What are you meant to do? It's really challenging. I genuinely think this kind of shit, you should just look at it and go, this is a minority of people. Block them. Don't engage with those people. But it's very challenging when you have like a cinematics producer go out there and make a statement. You got to back that person. You know what I mean? Like, you have to back them for sure, of course.
But I think at some point, like, there needs to, like, I don't know what it is, but I think at some point there has to be something that happens around this shit, because it's got...
Oh, don't deny that.
Yeah, it's obviously this is far from the first case. It's just the fact that we had these two high-profile things happen in the same week, that while it's probably not on the same level of something like, the whole Me Too stuff, but like there needs to almost be like a movement or there needs to be something where even the gamers can take action against this, or like promote this kind of, or not promote, basically not doing this shit, if that makes sense. Like, it just feels like something needs to happen, because I'm just sick of it, man. I'm just so sick of it.
Yeah, well, it's almost like you need to have like mega block lists or something like that, you know what I mean, that you can contribute to if you're verified. And then it's just like, okay, add this dickhead to the block list, and then you just don't see their shit. The challenge, like, we've both been on the internet forever, right? The problem is, if it's like blood in the water with piranhas, right? It's like once you start to show to people your weakness or it's bothering you, there's people out there, and again, it's the super minority, but it's people out there, and they fucking go, whoa, we've got them. Like, let's keep on hammering them. And that's what they do. They just keep escalating. They just keep going until they get to a point where they're like, maybe it doesn't bother me anymore. Let's pick a new person. That's the only thing I get worried about, like with Santa Monica, like that it might keep escalating. And I totally agree with you. Like, if there's something you can do to stop it, you would do that, right? But I still, like, honestly, I still fundamentally think Twitter does a bad job. Like, they'll kick off people on Twitter, ban them permanently, but then people can say this crazy shit, and it's like, fine. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand that element of Twitter and these kind of platforms. Seems very strange to me. So, all right, you want to move on?
Yeah, let's move on to something a bit happier.